So here we are, Star Fox is here, again, with the 5th retelling of the Lylat Wars. And it's good. It's really good, but you know how I feel about it. My stance hasn't really changed about this game from my last 2 videos talking about Star Fox, but I'm not gonna make this video all about that. I'll save it for later. I am going to just talk about this game in as objective of a sense as I can, at least for the first part of this video, because what it does well, and I think it deserves its flowers for that, regardless of how I feel about its existence. And like I said, yeah, it's good. It's really good. Before we jump into the whole shebang, if you could, hit that like button and subscribe if you're new, because I think I'm falling off and I need your help. Please, please save me from obscurity. So yeah, Star Fox 64 again. Listen, I can't say I regretted playing it. I had a really good time playing through this game, and I'm still working my way through and trying to do all the medals and challenges and all that kind of stuff. And I guess, I don't know, how do I start this? Where do I want to start? Where do I want to dig into the meat and potatoes of this whole thing? I guess we'll just start with the gameplay. It's probably the most important part of, you know, these Star Fox games. So, you know, Nintendo peaked with Star Fox back in the 90s, I guess, with Star Fox 64, and they've really struggled to find, like, a good path forward with the series since then. I guess in their minds, they just absolutely perfected the on-rails gameplay, style of Star Fox, on the 64. Definitely don't fault them for feeling like Star Fox 64 is really good, because it is. It's really good. And here in Star Fox 2026, it's no different. If anything, it probably feels maybe a little better. I think I need to go back and play Star Fox 64 again after this, just to have it even more fresh in my mind to kind of directly compare. I played Star Fox 64 and 64 3D in the lead up to this, but even then, after spending a ton of time now with 2026 Star Fox, I feel like I could do even more with the comparisons, but well, you know, whatever. So yeah, Star Fox is a very arcadey kind of game, you know? It's designed to be played and replayed many times over. You're not going to be able to experience everything that the game has to offer on a single pass. And that is something that I like about Star Fox. I enjoy kind of arcadey sort of games that are meant to be replayed like this. You start on Corneria and then you kind of just chart your path from there. You know, you have 2 different options on, you know, how to end your first pass of Corneria, and that will determine the kind of path that you end up taking throughout the whole rest of your campaign. And a typical campaign run will maybe take you about an hour, maybe an hour and a half, you know, somewhere in that kind of range. I've managed to unlock all of the different planets. I had a ton of fun, honestly, just going through and replaying this over and over again to get all the different planets so I could unlock them for the challenge mode. And as I have come to discover, the challenge mode is where a lot of there's a surprising amount of replayability here. I feel like this is where I'm gonna tack on the most amount of hours onto my game time here. I've only done 2 of the levels in the challenge mode now. I've completed all of Corneria on normal and expert in the challenge mode, and they are not fucking around here. I guess Nintendo knew that, you know, Star Fox typically is a bit of a shorter experience, you know, a little bit on the short side, and so they made it so that, yeah, these expert challenges, they are definitely expert challenges, that's for sure. Some of the shit it expects you to do, I mean, you have to destroy the robots before they can knock over any of the buildings. That was tough. It's tough to get to all of them before they knock those buildings over, especially the last 2 that you have to get. You gotta defeat, you know, the bosses in under a certain amount of time. The one boss is like 10 seconds, the other one is 30 seconds. It's a little bit of a double-edged sword here, because for stuff like that comes way later in the level, if you fuck it up, you have to start the whole thing over again. You have to play through these levels numerous times, and like, I don't know, it might almost be just a little bit too grindy for me, but like, at the moment, I'm still enjoying just the gameplay of Star Fox, so I might be tempted to try to do a couple more of these. I'm not sure how far I'll go yet. I'm not sure if I'll end up doing them all. But for what it is, you know, it's there for Star Fox purists who just, they want to experience everything that this game has to offer. Some of this stuff is fun. Some of the challenges are fun. Medio is another level that I've kind of worked through a bit. There's this one challenge where you have to defeat the boss at the end, and without shooting his shield, and yeah, that was something. I fucked it up many times, like after my first couple of shots. It kind of stinks because again, you have to play through the whole level again and again. So it's like I don't know. It's there. It can definitely extend your playtime. It certainly can. But if you're not into that particular grind, you can also just go and try to get the medals throughout the campaign, which is something I'm kind of still chipping away at too. I've gotten quite a few of them, and I'm having a great time with it. You know, it kind of tests your mastery of Star Fox, and yeah, it's just a good time. You know, it usually requires you to get a certain amount of hits on like enemies and, you know, just destruction in general. Sometimes there's like an extra requirement, like making sure that none of your squad goes down, you know, that sort of thing. But yeah, it's fun. Again, it kind of tests your mastery. I haven't unlocked the expert mode yet. I think you need to get all the medals on normal to unlock expert. I could be wrong, but I think that's how that works. If nothing else, I would like to at least make that happen. I want to get all the medals, so that's one of the things that I'm working towards right now. So instead of like talking vaguely about the gameplay, let me just dive a little bit deeper in here because man, oh man, it feels good. Star Fox 2026 is a good looking, good feeling game. I mean, okay, graphically, like visually, I'm not talking about the character designs just yet, but like graphically and visually, like the environments, the visuals, like the light, the way it reflects off of the environments, like your laser beams and all that kind of stuff, it is excellent. It is a gorgeous looking game. I mean, this is one of the first games, I think, to really kind of show what the Switch 2 can do, at least from a first-party perspective. I mean, we've had third-party games that have, you know, been pretty good looking. Metroid Prime 4 was a really good looking game too, but like this is yeah, another one to kind of put up on that sort of pedestal. So Star Fox looks good. It's a really good looking game. I love the handling of the R-Wing. I mean, it's just so smooth, you know? It's just like everything just kind of transitions into each other just so nicely, you know? I can like press the L and R buttons to really just kind of do some swooping back and forth, and it feels nice and buttery smooth, and I love the shooting in this. It looks and sounds so satisfying. I don't know what they did. I don't know what they did to juice up that sound design, but like these laser beams, the way that they land on, you know, like the various enemies as you're flying through space, it all just looks and sounds so good. Oh, it's juicy, it's beautiful, it's chef's kiss. The one thing that did catch me a little off guard, I mean, you can see it in my live stream, is that it's not like super apparent when you're landing your shots on enemies, or not enemies, but well, I guess kind of enemies, but bosses in particular. You know, in the original Star Fox 64, they like flash a little bit when you're landing the shots where they need to be. You don't really have that kind of indicator here in the new Star Fox 64. So I wasn't even like sure whenever I was dealing damage half the time. Now that I've like played and replayed the game a couple of different times, gone through a couple of the different routes, like I know what to expect and I know like how it works. But yeah, that kind of just feels like, I don't know, maybe almost a little bit of an oversight, a little bit of a strange oversight, I don't know. That's kind of a minor nitpick. Speaking of minor nitpicks, I guess that's a good segue into the characters, these character designs. I don't even know if I can really call this a nitpick. They were definitely off-putting. It was off-putting when these were first revealed, like what, last month? The month before? I don't know. I have since kind of gotten used to them. I don't really love them or hate them. I'm just kind of somewhere in the middle. It's like, they're fine, you know? I know a lot of people still feel pretty strongly about them. They're not, you know, super into them or whatever, but it doesn't really bother me. I'm just kind of like, whatever, you know? I don't know if these are the designs I would want to see carry forward to like future Star Fox games. I guess it depends. I mean, if Valan Studios is going to be tackling Star Fox from now on, then I don't know, that's an option. I guess, you know, what it boils down to is I'm just kind of a little bit indifferent. It's like, whatever, you know, they're fine. The game aside from that looks really nice. The voice acting, that was definitely a point of contention going into the game. I mean, there were posts all over social media just dogging on the voice acting. I really wasn't crazy about it myself before going into it. I will say, after playing through the game, it's mostly fine. Like, for the most part, it sounds fine. I think there's still some cornball cheese, cheesy cornballs, cornflakes in there, you know what I mean? But like, surprisingly, a lot of the time the voice acting is just super flat. It just doesn't sound nearly as energetic or interested as the original Star Fox 64 game. But when it's not sounding flat and uninterested, it's almost going in the opposite direction. It's a little bit over the top in a couple of places, and no, maybe over the top isn't the right way to put it. More just like, I don't know, unnatural. It sounds like they got anime dub actors for some of these characters. Some of these lines and deliveries, they just come off like that. I wouldn't be surprised to find out that they are anime dub actors. It's not to say that there's anything wrong with anime dub acting. That's not my point here. I'm just saying, like, it just doesn't sound fully natural, and so, I don't know, it makes some of the deliveries and some of the interactions just feel a little bit, like, unnatural and awkward, I guess. I don't even know if I would say awkward, just, I would leave it at unnatural. Either way, you know, it's like, whatever, it's fine. It's not so egregious that, like, you know, I'm sitting here huffing and puffing and fuming about it or anything like that. It's just fine. The gameplay itself more than makes up for it. The big thing that Nintendo was attempting to highlight about remaking Star Fox 64 again was adding in extra story elements and cutscenes and that sort of thing. And I gotta say, it really didn't do much for me. I really didn't feel like it changed the experience of Star Fox all that much, and after watching each of the cutscenes once through my individual playthroughs, I just found myself skipping them more and more often. Like, I mean, not that there's really a reason to watch them over and over again or anything, but I didn't really feel like it changed things all that much about this game. It's still all about the arcadey, shoot 'em up gameplay and that kind of fun stuff, and that's where the game shines. There is a multiplayer component to Star Fox. I have not dabbled too much with it yet. I played a single round and I got my ass handed to me. But I've heard people saying that they are really enjoying it, and it kind of takes them back to those sort of like tacked on multiplayer mode days of, like, you know, the N64 and just, I don't know. I think that's fun. I think that's cool that people are enjoying it like that. I'm not so sure that I'm gonna get super into the multiplayer yet. I'm gonna play with some buddies at some point, and we're gonna try that out. But yeah, I don't really have much to say about that, because yeah, I've only played like a single round of it, and I was bad. All in all, for 50 bucks digital, you can get your money's worth out of Star Fox if you seek it out. It's not a full price game digitally. But this kind of brings me around to my own personal feelings about this game's existence. I don't regret playing it. I'm having a good time playing this game. I mean, straight up. And like, at the end of the day, I guess that's really all that matters, right? If it's fun, it's fun. I just can't help but feel though that, like, man, I look at like the challenges and, you know, the branching paths and all the different medals and like achievements that you can try to earn in this game, and I just think like, man, it would be so fun if all of this had been like implemented into a brand new Star Fox game. There was a part of me that wondered if an on-rails like arcadey Star Fox game like this even really would be able to fit into kind of the modern gaming landscape. But I always assumed that if Nintendo was going to take that route with Star Fox again, that it would be like a new game, you know? Not the fifth retelling of the Lilat Wars. Because, just to recap, we had Star Fox on the Super Nintendo, which is like, that's the Lilat Wars right there. 64 was basically a retelling of that. That's one of the details that people miss. And then they did 64 again on the 3DS. And that prompted Nintendo to do another retelling of the Lilat Wars with Star Fox Zero on the Wii U. And, you know, again, here we are, Star Fox 2026. I know 64 is good. It is. It's a little bit concerning to me, though, that Nintendo feels like they peaked with the Star Fox formula 30 years ago. They really have no other ideas? And the argument that I see thrown around all the time is that, like, well, nothing that Nintendo did with Star Fox since then performed nearly as well as Star Fox 64. You know, we had Adventures and Star Fox Assault and Star Fox Command, and, you know, they were all critically and commercially panned. So of course they're gonna bring back Star Fox 64 64. And it's like, I don't know, man. The thing about those games is that all of them deviated from the formula that Star Fox 64 set out with in some kind of way. Star Fox Adventures was not even a Star Fox game. It started off as Dinosaur Planet. It was not intended to be a Star Fox. It was basically an Ocarina kind of game, you know what I mean? Star Fox Assault, it gets closer. It kind of gets closer to its roots of being Star Fox, but doesn't really have like the branching paths and all that. It's a very linear mission progression. That's the one that I grew up with. That's the game that started me off on the Star Fox path as a kid. I have a soft spot for Assault, but I can understand why it's not like held to the same regard as like Star Fox 64. Star Fox Zero, I mean, okay, I mean, it was on the Wii U for one thing, but then it had that bizarre-ass control scheme that, like, you know, love it or hate it, it was definitely off-putting to a lot of people. So my thinking is, like, why not just take Star Fox 64, take the formula that was established there with the branching paths, the on-rails arcadey shooter gameplay, add some new mechanics, make new levels, and then boom, you have a sequel. An official, tried and true sequel to Star Fox 64, the thing that a lot of people have been waiting for since the 90s. I mean, geez, dude. Can you imagine being a kid in the 90s, getting Star Fox 64 and loving it, and here you are, 30 years later, and Nintendo has still not given just like a fully fledged, like, true gameplay sequel to Star Fox 64. I didn't play Star Fox 64 until a little bit later in life. I want to say I was in like junior high or early high school or something like that. I didn't grow up with an N64. I ended up buying one for myself, and Star Fox 64 was the first game that I bought for my Nintendo 64. I loved it. It was fantastic. I guess at the very least, I can give it this. I can't imagine that Nintendo would remake 64 again at this point. I think we have finally, like, hopefully reached the end of that road. It's time to move on. I was saying that before this game got revealed. You can go watch my video where I was talking about the rumors about this game and how it was well past the need for another 64 retelling. Oy, it is what it is. I'm glad it's here. I enjoyed my time with it. I just can't help but feel like I would have enjoyed it even more if we had gotten something just new, you know what I mean? I've said my piece. I've gotten it out of my system. That's all you're gonna get from me on Star Fox. It's a very good game. If you've never played Star Fox, then this is a good entry point. I think you'll find that it's quite fun. It is quite fun, it's quite good. But hopefully you can see where I'm coming from as a guy who has played and replayed 64 many times over the years. Well, you get it. I've made my point. Hopefully this is just the start of Star Fox's resurrection, and we're not gonna have to wait another 10 years for another Star Fox game that just ends up being 64 again. Guys, what do you think? Have you played Star Fox 2026 yet on the Nintendo Switch 2? Did you enjoy it? I'll be real, this might be my last sort of topical video for a little bit. I'm not entirely sure yet. My, like, kind of relevant video game video, you know what I mean? You guys might have noticed I haven't been uploading as much lately about sort of topical, newsworthy kind of videos. Like, I don't know, man, I'm just not feeling it lately. I could have done a video griping and bitching about how poopy I thought the last Nintendo Direct was, but like, you know, I love video games. I don't want to just make videos shitting on video games. And I know I kind of partially did that here with this Star Fox video. My intention really wasn't to shit on it. I tried to give you the positives and then give you my own kind of personal perspective on it. But I kind of want to lean into making some content that stands the test of time a little bit more. If you haven't seen it yet, I did a fun video about Amiibo. And I got some more videos kind of in that vein coming up in the near future. So hope you're looking forward to that. Kind of shaking it up a little bit. We'll see how it goes. But anyway, okay, that's about enough yapping from me. Thanks for watching, thanks for listening, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.